Thank you so much for having me. All right, I'm gonna get started here. So I am a huge fan of Darren Hardy, and so you'll hear that in a couple parts of the speech. It is something to me, he's just such a great author, and I got so many good points out of so many of his books. But one of my favorite quotes is, "Success is a series of small, smart choices." I love this quote because it really resonates with what the heart of success really is. In real estate, just like in life, we have, success isn't about just a single big win, right? It's not about one massive deal or a lucky break. It's built from intentional, small decisions that we make day in and day out. Think about it. Every day we have choices. Do we spend the first part of our day just scrolling through emails and not really doing anything productive, or are we actually focused and motivated and calling and prospecting? Do we spend our afternoons just maybe going on social media and getting lost, or do we do FaceTime with our clients? These choices may seem small, but ultimately over time they're going to compound. Every time you choose to prospect, follow up, or sharpen your skills, you're building momentum. And here's the thing, you're the only person that can actually create the success for you. So one of the things I want to talk about that's near and dear to me is time blocking. So I know we've all had busy days, right? Where you literally are so busy you can't even pick your head up. And then at the end of the day, you look at your to-do list and you realize you've really done nothing that's moved the needle. So we're busy but not productive. That's where time blocking comes in. What I found is that when you schedule things that matter, that's actually what makes everything work, like lead generation or FaceTime with your clients. I've used time blocking for years, and it is ultimately, back in the day, just a little recap about me, I was 14 years in the industry for mortgages, and I went from doing just on average 20 million back when that was kind of a lot, and ended up using time blocking to make it up to 40 million consistently, where I was top 1%. Now I think mortgage numbers are a little bit different now, and they're much higher than that, but that was back when 40 million was a lot. But in addition to running my mortgage company, do we have many locals here still? Okay, awesome. Hi guys, oh hi. So basically I created a business called Lucky Dog Bark and Brew, which is an indoor-outdoor dog park. Yay! And it's an indoor-outdoor dog park with a bar, and I also did doggy daycare and boarding. And I did that business in addition to I was the only producer for my team. That was in 2012. I opened that first of its kind business, and then 2013, I actually franchised the model, figured out how to do that. 2015, 16, I opened up my second location, and then again in my third in 2018. So I had a lot going on. I had to be efficient with my time. I had no choice. So what I would do every morning, I got better at it, so please give yourself some grace if you're going to choose to do this time blocking situation. But in the mornings, I would start off with about 30 minutes or so, maybe an hour maximum, and I would write down my day, exactly what I wanted to accomplish. I was very strategic. 30 minutes would give me time to respond to my emails, and I would write about, basically put in time blocks. The number one was hour of power, which I'll get to that in a second. Number two was activities that I'm working in the business and activities I'm working on the business. And then I always gave me a little bit of grace space, which was, real estate's a tricky lady, so there's always going to be crazy stuff that pops up. I would move that grace space into if something popped up, and then I would replace the stuff that I was going to be doing during that hour with that time. So it was always strategic on how I made my day move, and I controlled it. I didn't allow it to control me. Think of time blocking as creating a protective bubble around the things that matter most. And it's not just about time blocking your work, but it's also about making what's important in life. You've got to have time for breaks. This industry can be very mentally taxing. I see so many agents out there that are just grinding with no boundaries for their family and for their health. You've got to make sure that you time block it and make sure that it actually happens. So one of the things, what I talked about just a second ago, was called the hour of power. And this hour of power is where I'm physically doing the things that move the needle, right? So for me, every morning from 9 to 10 would be my I'm dialing literally for dollars. Now, I am naturally an introvert, so it's not something that's comfortable for me to pick up the phone and cold call or call a past customer and say, hey, are you interested in refinancing or whatever it was, moving. It's not comfortable for me, but I chose to do it anyways, and the more I did it, I actually did move the needle. The secret is, number one is I would have it organized, right? So going back to controlling my day, I would have prepped the night before the people that I'm going to call during that hour of power. I would have their name, their phone number, and what were the notes from the last time that I spoke to them. So I was efficient in just dialing, right? I turned off my emails, I turned off my phone. If I called you and you didn't answer, and then you tried to call me back during my hour of power, I would not answer it. I was only dialing out. I'm going to come back to you. If I have extra time at the end of the hour, I'll call you back. But I'm only dialing out. I've got to get through all the people. And before, as soon as I made that call, I would reschedule another call, put my notes in, like left a voicemail, spoke to them, their kids getting married, whatever it is, whatever I learned, I would put that in the notes, and so that there was consistency. And it got to a point where I always had enough people. I didn't have to prep the night before. I had the list already prepared, and I could just get to work and literally, call and prospect. I did this 5 hours a week. How many of you can actually say that you're prospecting 5 hours a week? Nobody likes to do it. But if you did it and it's the first thing that you knocked out in the beginning of the day, you're going to crush it. That's how I literally doubled my business. If you don't know what to say when you call these people, we've got this amazing thing called ChatGPT. Give me some talking points to call past customers, or say something funny that I can say to customers in regards to real estate so it's not so boring. You can utilize the technology that we have. Now, I'm a huge fan of this, and not everybody does this, but it will totally change your business. You need to think about tracking your business. You can't improve what you don't measure. If you're not tracking how many leads you're generating, how do you know if your lead generation efforts are actually working? If you're not measuring how those leads turn into appointments and how can you refine your process? If you're not reviewing how many appointments turn into sales, how do you know what you're missing out on? This is like a clear path. It'll almost pop out of the page. If you do it and you start tracking, you're able to see really quickly, hey, if I'm putting $6,000 into marketing dollars and I've only got 3 leads from this that were qualified, I'm not spending my money there. I'm going to move it over to this. I'm an advocate for trying something a minimum of 6 months, but if I don't get results out of that, I'm going to move on. So as real estate agents, what should you be tracking, right? And you don't have to do all of these at the beginning, and don't overthink it. So many of us get caught up in, like, what am I supposed to, should I start from January 1? No, just start from tomorrow. Did you get any leads come in? Check. It doesn't have to be some grand software program either. It can just be an Excel spreadsheet that you literally check one thing. And then maybe next week you're going to start to track another thing, and it grows from there. And then by the end of the year, you've got this platform that you can literally look at how your business is doing. It's essentially a report card, and you can see how to improve. Now, one of the things that most of us love to do is procrastinate, because it's easy and it's fun. So for me, I have taught myself to not allow my brain to have mental space on some hard things, right? I just take care of it. If it's something that's like, think about some of the hard things that you actually have going on right now that you're just avoiding. Maybe it's a call with changing price on a listing, and it's a difficult customer, and you know they're going to be terrible to you. Knock it out. Just get it gone, get some mental space and some clarity back, and you'll be able to move on. The rest of the day feels like cakewalk. But don't allow it to get, have control over your day. Handling it first thing is what's literally going to change the whole rest of your day. It just creates positivity, and you can move forward. So ask yourself, what are the tasks that you've been avoiding? What are you putting off? Is it the cold calling? Is it the prospecting? Have you contacted your customers in a while? A lot of us are like, oh, I've emailed them. How many emails do we get in a day? If you actually pick up the phone, I rarely get calls anymore. If someone was to call me and be like, hey, how do you like your house? Is there anything that you would want different? Are you considering moving? Do you know anybody that's moving? Would you be interested in giving me a referral? Whatever it is, I don't get calls from people like that anymore. Like, they're just so easy to send an email. But just pick up the phone, be different. So these, we kind of covered these, but these are some of the cold calling leads, expired listings. These are some of the difficult tasks that we all try to avoid. Having that difficult pricing conversation, follow up with maybe an unresponsive customer. Maybe you've got a customer that's just a jerk and you don't want to, you don't want to talk to him anymore, but you really need to because you know that it needs to be resolved. Just handle it. Do it first thing. If you don't know how to ask for referrals, figure out a cool campaign of, hey, if you give me a testimonial, then I'll put you into a drawing and whatever it is. Just make it easy and simple, but don't overthink it and don't let it control you. So how I said before, I do love Darren Hardy, and the compound effect, it's an oldie but a goodie, and it is, if you haven't read it, please download it, go to wherever you need to do that, it's awesome. But if you have read it, read it again because there's so many good tips. But ultimately what it says is small, smart choices consistently applied lead to massive success. And this is the principle of the compound effect. It's how I've created my businesses and how I've created my life to be where it is today. Think of this every day is how you make your choices affect everything as you move forward. The key is consistency, and you also need to have significant amount of patience, right? This business is not rocket science, but if you have consistent patterns in what you're doing, you will reap the rewards of it. So here's some examples of daily habits for success. I'm going to hone in on that lead generation, prospecting. You've got to prospect. Be different. Nobody's doing it. Even if it, like Kaiten is awesome with her social media, but prospecting could mean reach out to the people that have commented on your social media. It could mean, literally picking up the phone and calling past customers. It could mean all kinds of things. But do those daily habits and it will change your business, I assure you. But also invest in your personal development. So kudos to you all for being here today and yesterday. This is an awesome conference and it's filled with so much information. And it's what you need to be able to, this industry changes constantly, like the buyer's agency agreement, all kinds of stuff. You need to be well informed and always improve your knowledge. Prioritize your health. I'm a huge advocate for this. Whether it's just mental health, meditate, go for a walk, do something. This business can be a grind. And mental and physical health is very important to you. Make sure you have balance between personal and work life, which so many agents don't. They just grind for their customers and there's no boundaries there. So consider setting some boundaries. Put on your do not disturb after certain points and don't answer it and honor it. Give yourself permission because it's okay. And something that I'm also very passionate about is do something every day that pushes you past your comfort zone. My mom taught me this a long time ago. Shout out to Kathy Byrnes. But I personally can't stand public speaking. So when Shelly asked me, I was like, absolutely, I'm going to do that because I want to get over the fear of public speaking. I want to push past that, right? So do something every day that pushes you past your comfort zone. Mindset is something also very important. This is something that will change how your whole day, how you handle hard stuff, right? So real estate, we have ups and downs, challenges across the board. But ultimately, it's how you handle it is what's going to control everything, right? You have the power to control how you react to it. We're going to have bad customers. We're going to have bad agents that you're working with. You're going to have, buyer agency craziness. You're going to have all kinds of moments of frustration. But the truth is how you respond to those challenges is what truly defines the success for you. Focus on what you can control, your time, your energy, and your efforts. Embrace the challenges. I'm an advocate for win, learn. It's not win, lose, it's win, learn. Every time you learn some crazy thing that happened with this particular property, now you have that wisdom going forward. You'll know that. So take that as a win. Don't necessarily see that as a downfall. Remember you're in control of your own journey and own it. No one else can build success for you. So this last 2 days have been literally like a fire hose, right, of so much good information. So where do you start? I would suggest personally, as I know everybody's got some amazing notes, write down a master list of your to-dos that you want to accomplish with your business, and then rank them accordingly of how soon you want to get them to actually be done. And then start on the first one. And don't move to anything else until you get that first one accomplished, because we can get lost in all this amazing information and then never get anything actually accomplished. So create a master list and just, knock them off as you go. But first things first, let's learn to time block. Even if tomorrow you said, I'm just going to prospect 5 calls, great. Do that every day for the next 5 days. And then next week, let's do 6 calls. Challenge yourself. Start your tracking. Even if it's one thing, you could track, hey, I made 5 calls. Great. Now you're tracking. So it will grow from there. But baby steps is fine. Those small little decisions to improve your business will be powerful. Do the hardest task first. Think about what you're actually struggling with and what has been weighing on you. Just knock it out. The feeling of being complete with that is such relief and gives you so much space and clarity. And prioritize your health, because that's so important, especially in this industry. So let's end with this. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. I know this has been a common theme with everybody. So many of us wait for the perfect moment or the right time or to make a move. But the truth is, success is not going to wait. It's about taking action right now with what you actually have. If there's one thing that you want to take away from today, it's to start. Start with the small steps. Start with the habits that we talked about, the time blocking, the doing the hard things first, the tracking. Every action you take moves you closer to success. And whether you're brand new in real estate or you've been in this industry forever, don't let perfection or hesitation stop you. It's the small, consistent actions that are going to make the difference. Just remember that success is a journey. And as we wrap up, I want to leave you with my one favorite quote. I think a million people said this, but last time I heard it was from Darren Hardy, is success is never owned, it's rented, and rent is due every day. This quote reminds us that success is not a one-time achievement. It's something you have to earn day in and day out. Every day you need to show up, put in the work, and pay that rent. But I want to thank each and every one of you for being here and choosing to learn and grow with your business. You've already made that step of showing up and being open to learning. Now it's time to actually put it into action. So as you leave here today, remember success is earned daily. So keep showing up and keep pushing yourself. Thank you.